The most disturbing pattern ever found in the universe. There was a moment when the universe became deeply unsettling. Not because of an asteroid, not because of a black hole, not because humanity discovered something violent in space. What disturbed scientists was something far stranger, the growing suspicion that the universe was not behaving randomly at all. For decades, astronomers believed the cosmos followed a simple principle. On the largest scales, everything should look chaotic. Galaxies should scatter across space like dust after an explosion. Matter should spread unevenly, but without intention. The universe was supposed to resemble noise, vast, cold, directionless noise stretching across billions of light years, and for a long time it did. But as telescopes became more powerful and humanity began mapping deeper regions of the cosmos, tiny irregularities started appearing in the data. At first, nobody panicked. Strange observations happened constantly in astronomy. A distorted signal, a statistical accident, an instrument error. Science is filled with anomalies that disappear once better measurements arrive. Except these anomalies did not disappear. The deeper scientists looked, the more the universe began repeating itself in disturbing ways. Galaxies appeared aligned across impossible distances. Massive structures emerged that should never have had enough time to form. Entire regions of space seemed connected by invisible relationships no known law of physics could explain. Something about the cosmos felt organized. That single realization quietly shook modern cosmology. Because if the universe contains hidden patterns on its largest scales, then one terrifying possibility immediately emerges. Maybe randomness was never the true nature of reality. Maybe humanity has misunderstood the architecture of the universe from the very beginning. Imagine standing inside a forest at night. At first, everything appears natural, random, chaotic. But then you notice the trees are perfectly spaced apart. Every branch bends at the same angle. Every shadow repeats the same shape. Suddenly, the forest no longer feels alive. It feels designed. That is the feeling many cosmologists experienced when certain discoveries refuse to go away. The frightening part is not that scientists found one strange anomaly. The frightening part is that the universe keeps producing them. And the more humanity studies the cosmos, the harder it becomes to ignore a disturbing possibility hiding behind the stars. Perhaps space itself is following rules we are not intelligent enough to fully understand yet. Tonight, we are going to travel beyond galaxies, beyond radiation, beyond the limits of modern physics itself, into one of the most uncomfortable mysteries ever discovered by science. A mystery that forces us to ask a question capable of changing the way we see existence forever. What if the universe is not random? The ancient human obsession with patterns in the sky. Long before humanity understood what stars truly were, people were already searching the heavens for meaning. Ancient civilizations looked upward and saw more than distant lights. They saw messages, warnings, predictions, gods. Entire cultures were built around the movements of the sky because human beings have always carried a strange instinct deep within the mind. The need to transform chaos into patterns. Thousands of years ago, humans connected random stars into constellations. Hunters appeared in the darkness. Creatures emerged from scattered points of light. Entire mythologies were projected onto the cosmos. To modern eyes, these patterns seem imaginary. But something profound was happening inside the human brain. Even without technology, humanity already sensed that the sky contained structure waiting to be discovered. That instinct never disappeared. Science inherited the same obsession. The difference is that modern astronomers replaced myths with mathematics. Telescopes replaced naked eyes. Equations replaced legends. Yet the fundamental question remained exactly the same. Is there hidden order in the universe? For centuries, science moved toward a powerful conclusion. The cosmos obeyed laws, but not intention. Gravity shaped galaxies. Physics governed matter. Random quantum fluctuations after the Big Bang produced the structure we observe today. Everything appeared explainable without deeper design hiding underneath reality. Then, the data became uncomfortable. As observatories began scanning deeper into space, astronomers noticed something unsettling about the large-scale structure of the universe. Matter was not distributed as randomly as expected. Certain regions showed unusual alignments. Some galaxies appeared oriented in strangely coordinated directions. Vast structures stretched across distances so enormous they challenged the limits of accepted cosmology. At first glance, these discoveries sounded harmless, but hidden beneath them was a dangerous implication. Patterns imply repetition. Repetition implies rules, and rules imply organization. That is where the psychological tension begins to emerge. Because once the human mind notices a pattern, it becomes almost impossible to ignore it, especially when that pattern appears on scales larger than entire galaxy clusters. The disturbing part is that scientists desperately tried to prove these observations were meaningless. Nobody wanted the universe to become mysterious again. Modern cosmology was built upon predictability. Randomness was comfortable because randomness required no deeper explanation beyond physics itself. But the universe kept whispering the same unsettling message through the data. Something repeats. Again and again, astronomers encountered structures and alignments that statistically should not exist. Tiny irregularities became larger questions. Larger questions became cracks in the model. And those cracks slowly opened the door to one of the strangest possibilities modern science has ever faced. What if humanity's ancient obsession with patterns was never just imagination? What if the universe truly contains them? Because the deeper scientists looked into space, the more the cosmos began behaving less like an explosion and more like something following invisible instructions written into reality itself. And soon, astronomers would discover a symmetry so disturbing that some researchers openly admitted they had no explanation for it. The impossible symmetry no one expected to find. The universe is not supposed to have a preferred direction. That single idea sits at the foundation of modern cosmology. No matter where you stand in space, the cosmos should appear roughly the same in every direction. On the largest scales, the universe is expected to be isotropic, balanced, and statistically uniform. This assumption is so important that nearly every major cosmological model depends on it being true. Then scientists discovered something that threatened the entire principle. It began with observations of the cosmic microwave background, the ancient radiation left behind after the Big Bang. This faint glow fills the entire universe like a fossilized echo from the birth of reality itself. For decades, astronomers studied this radiation because it offered a snapshot of the infant cosmos, a moment when the universe was only a few 100,000 years old. At first, everything looked normal. Tiny fluctuations appeared exactly where physics predicted they should. Random temperature variations spread across the cosmic background like static noise on an old television screen. But hidden inside that noise was something deeply unsettling. Certain fluctuations appeared strangely aligned, not randomly scattered, not evenly distributed, aligned. When researchers mapped these patterns more carefully, they discovered that enormous regions of the universe seemed to share the same orientation. Temperature variations across vast cosmic distances appeared connected along a mysterious axis stretching through space. That should have been impossible. The early universe was not supposed to organize itself this way. These regions were separated by distances so immense that no known interaction could have coordinated them. According to accepted physics, they should have evolved independently, like isolated islands drifting in darkness. Instead, they behaved almost like synchronized parts of a larger system. The discovery became so uncomfortable that cosmologists gave it a name that sounded almost sarcastic: the axis of evil. Even today, the name carries a strange tension. Not because scientists believed the universe was malicious, but because the anomaly directly challenged one of the most trusted assumptions in cosmology. The phrase itself reflected scientific discomfort. Researchers were staring at evidence that should not exist. At first, many assumed the problem came from faulty instruments. Perhaps the satellites measuring the cosmic microwave background introduced distortions into the data. Maybe radiation from our own galaxy contaminated the observations. Scientists searched aggressively for errors because the alternative was far more disturbing. The anomalies survived. Again and again, new measurements confirmed the strange alignments. Different missions, different instruments, different teams. Yet the unusual symmetry continued appearing in the maps of the universe. That is when the emotional atmosphere surrounding the discovery began to change. What started as curiosity slowly transformed into unease. Because symmetry is dangerous in cosmology. Perfect symmetry suggests hidden structure. Hidden structure suggests underlying laws, and underlying laws may point toward mechanisms humanity does not yet understand. The deeper scientists investigated the anomaly, the harder it became to dismiss the possibility that the universe itself contains a kind of large-scale organization invisible to current physics. Imagine throwing billions of grains of sand into the air and watching them land in repeating geometric patterns across entire continents. That is how unnatural these alignments appear to cosmologists. The terrifying possibility is not merely that the universe contains anomalies. The terrifying possibility is that these anomalies may be connected. And far beyond the cosmic microwave background, astronomers were beginning to uncover even stranger evidence that distant regions of space behaved as though they somehow knew about each other. The regions of space that behave like they are connected. There is a limit to how fast information can travel through the universe. Nothing moves faster than light. Not matter, not energy, not signals. This rule is so fundamental that modern physics is built around it. If two regions of space are separated by unimaginable distances, they should evolve independently, unable to influence one another across cosmic time. But the universe keeps violating that expectation in deeply unsettling ways. As astronomers mapped galaxies farther into deep space, they began noticing strange correlations between objects separated by billions of light years. Entire groups of galaxies appeared aligned, as if responding to the same invisible influence. Quasars, some of the brightest and most violent objects ever discovered, showed rotational orientations that seemed coordinated across regions too distant to have ever communicated. The observations sounded absurd. According to conventional cosmology, these objects should behave randomly. Their directions, spins, and orientations should look chaotic when viewed across enormous distances. Instead, scientists found patterns emerging where randomness should dominate. Imagine standing on Earth and discovering that hurricanes forming on opposite sides of the planet all rotated according to the same hidden blueprint. That alone would feel impossible. Now imagine this occurring across distances so vast that light itself would need billions of years to travel between them. That is the scale of the mystery. The unsettling part is not simply the existence of these alignments. It is the growing suggestion that distant regions of the universe may somehow remain connected beneath the visible surface of reality. Some cosmologists attempted to explain the phenomenon through statistical coincidence. Perhaps human beings naturally search for meaning in random noise. The brain evolved to recognize patterns because survival depended on it. Ancient humans who noticed movement in tall grass survived predators. Those who ignored patterns disappeared. But the deeper the observations became, the more difficult coincidence appeared. The universe kept repeating the behavior. Again and again, large-scale structures displayed relationships that current physics struggles to explain. Massive galaxy filaments stretched across incomprehensible distances like strands of a cosmic web. Clusters formed interconnected networks so enormous, they almost resembled neural pathways inside a gigantic brain. For some researchers, the comparison became psychologically disturbing. Not because scientists literally believed the universe was alive, but because the architecture of deep space increasingly resembled systems built upon connectivity rather than randomness. And this is where the mystery begins to feel truly uncomfortable. Because if distant regions of the universe somehow influence one another beyond known physics, then our understanding of space itself may be incomplete. The cosmos may contain hidden layers of interaction invisible to human perception. Reality may operate through deeper structures humanity has not yet learned to detect. Some physicists quietly explored radical possibilities, unknown quantum relationships stretching across cosmic scales, hidden dimensions folded beneath space-time, ancient fluctuations from the birth of the universe imprinting invisible order across billions of light years. None of these ideas fully solve the problem. That is what makes the mystery so dangerous. Science works best when anomalies eventually disappear under better explanations. But these cosmic correlations continue surviving observation after observation. Every new telescope pushes the question further instead of resolving it. The universe behaves less like isolated chaos and more like a connected system. And soon astronomers would uncover discoveries so massive, so physically impossible, that some scientists began wondering whether the very structure of the cosmos had been misunderstood from the beginning. The discovery that quietly terrified cosmologists. Science rarely collapses all at once. Most of the time, reality breaks slowly. A strange measurement appears. Researchers dismiss it. Another anomaly emerges years later. Then another. Tiny inconsistencies begin accumulating like cracks inside glass. At first, nobody notices the danger, but eventually the structure holding everything together starts making sounds scientists cannot ignore anymore. That is exactly what happened in cosmology. The terrifying part was not one isolated discovery. It was the realization that multiple anomalies across the universe seemed to point in the same direction. Different observations, different regions of space, different research teams. Yet the same unsettling message kept emerging beneath the data. Something about the universe was wrong. Quietly, many cosmologists began experiencing a kind of intellectual tension they rarely spoke about publicly. Modern cosmology had become incredibly successful at explaining the universe. The Big Bang model predicted cosmic expansion. General relativity described gravity with astonishing accuracy. Simulations reproduced the formation of galaxies and clusters across billions of years. The model worked beautifully, until the universe started behaving too strangely. Some structures appeared too large to exist according to current timelines. Certain galactic motions did not fully match predictions. Unexpected alignments continued appearing in deep space surveys. Even more disturbing, these anomalies were not completely random. They often hinted at hidden organization across enormous scales. For scientists trained to trust statistical uniformity, this became psychologically uncomfortable. Because once enough anomalies accumulate, a dangerous question emerges. What if the problem is not the data? What if the problem is the model itself? That possibility creates fear inside science for a very specific reason. Entire careers, theories, and decades of research depend on foundational assumptions remaining stable. If one major assumption breaks, countless conclusions built upon it suddenly become uncertain. Cosmologists understand this better than anyone. The history of science is filled with moments where humanity believed it understood reality, only to discover the universe operated according to far stranger rules. Earth was once believed to stand motionless at the center of existence. Time itself was once considered absolute until relativity shattered that illusion. Quantum physics later revealed a microscopic world behaving in ways the human mind still struggles to intuitively understand. Every revolution in science begins the same way. Reality stops behaving as expected. That is why these cosmic anomalies produce such deep unease among researchers. Not because scientists fear mystery, but because they understand what mystery often means. Hidden beneath unexplained observations may exist entirely new layers of reality waiting to overturn humanity's understanding of existence itself. And perhaps the most disturbing part is this: the universe does not appear chaotic in these anomalies. It appears structured. Patterns repeat. Alignments persist. Relationships emerge across impossible distances. The cosmos increasingly resembles something governed by invisible architecture rather than random distribution. Some scientists openly resist this interpretation because the implications become philosophically dangerous. If the universe contains hidden large-scale order beyond known physics, then humanity may currently possess only a primitive understanding of reality. Imagine ancient sailors believing the ocean ended at the horizon, unaware entire continents waited beyond their maps. That may be where modern cosmology stands today, on the edge of a much larger truth. And soon, astronomers would discover gigantic structures in space so enormous that they appeared to violate the very limits of cosmic formation itself, forcing scientists to confront a terrifying possibility. That maybe the universe was never truly random at all. The giant structures that should never have formed. The universe is not old enough for some of its structures to exist. That sentence alone sounds impossible. According to modern cosmology, matter spread throughout the young universe after the Big Bang, slowly gathering under gravity over billions of years. Small structures formed first, then galaxies, then galaxy clusters. Over immense stretches of time, these clusters connected into larger cosmic filaments, creating what scientists call the cosmic web. Everything about this process has limits. Gravity needs time to build structure. The larger the structure, the longer it should take to form. That is why cosmologists believe there was a maximum scale beyond which the universe should appear statistically uniform. Past a certain distance, matter should smooth out into randomness. Then astronomers found structures so gigantic they shattered that expectation. One of the most disturbing discoveries was the Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall, an enormous concentration of galaxies stretching across roughly 10 billion light-years. To truly understand the scale, you must realize that the observable universe itself spans about 93 billion light-years across. This structure occupies a terrifying fraction of the known cosmos. and it should not exist, not according to current models. The problem is not merely its size. The problem is what its existence implies about the universe's evolution. Cosmological simulations struggle to explain how matter could organize itself into something so vast within the available lifetime of the universe. Then came other discoveries: the giant arc, huge, large quasar groups, colossal galactic superstructures stretching across incomprehensible distances like scars embedded into the fabric of reality itself. Again and again, astronomers encountered formations exceeding the theoretical size limits expected by modern cosmology. At first, researchers hoped these observations were statistical illusions. Human perception often connects unrelated points into meaningful shapes. Constellations themselves are proof of that tendency, but the data continued strengthening under deeper analysis. The structures remained. That is when the emotional tone surrounding these discoveries began to shift from curiosity into existential discomfort. Because gigantic structures imply gigantic coordination. Imagine droplets of water randomly splashing across a table and somehow arranging themselves into perfectly connected continents larger than entire planets. The larger the organized structure becomes, the less convincing randomness appears as an explanation. That is precisely why these discoveries disturb cosmologists so deeply. The universe increasingly resembles architecture. Not architecture in the sense of intelligent design or deliberate construction, but in the sense that hidden organizing principles may exist beneath the visible chaos of space. Unknown laws, deeper patterns, invisible mechanisms guiding matter across scales humanity never expected. And the scale changes everything. Human beings evolved to understand mountains, storms, rivers, and forests. Even planets challenge the limits of intuitive thought. But these cosmic structures are so enormous that the human brain cannot emotionally process them correctly. Entire galaxy clusters become microscopic pieces inside formations spanning billions of light years. The universe begins feeling less like empty space and more like something interconnected beyond comprehension. Some scientists reacted cautiously, others privately admitted discomfort. Because the larger these structures became, the more another terrifying question emerged beneath the surface. If the universe contains organization on scales this vast, where does the organization stop? Or worse, what if it never stops at all? And hidden within these gigantic formations, astronomers would soon uncover another disturbing clue. A strange repetition echoing through deep space itself, as though the cosmos were following patterns embedded into reality long before humanity ever existed to observe them. The strange repetition hidden across deep space. Randomness does not repeat itself perfectly. That is one of the fundamental assumptions behind statistics, probability, and modern cosmology. In a chaotic universe, patterns may appear briefly by coincidence, but over immense scales, those patterns should dissolve into disorder. The larger the sample, the more randomness dominates. But the universe keeps doing something unsettling. It repeats. Not in simple ways humans immediately recognize, but through subtle echoes hidden across galaxies, radiation fields, quasar alignments, and the distribution of matter itself. The deeper scientists observe the cosmos, the more they encounter strange repetitions that seem statistically unnatural. At first, these repetitions appeared harmless. Tiny directional similarities between distant galaxies, unusual rotational behaviors emerging in separate regions of space, repeated alignments occurring in systems that should have absolutely no relationship to one another. Then the patterns began appearing everywhere. Some galaxies rotated in preferred directions more often than expected. Certain structures aligned along enormous cosmic axes. Quasars separated by billions of light years displayed strangely coordinated orientations. Even fluctuations within ancient background radiation seemed to echo larger structures found in the modern universe. The cosmos behaved less like random debris after an explosion and more like a system repeating hidden instructions. That possibility terrified researchers for a very specific reason. Repetition implies memory, not conscious memory, not intelligence, but structural memory, a persistence of organization carrying itself across unimaginable distances and cosmic timescales. Something in the universe appeared capable of preserving large-scale relationships far beyond what standard cosmology predicted. Imagine walking through a forest and discovering the same symbol carved into trees thousands of miles apart. At first, you might dismiss it as coincidence, but the more often the symbol appears, the more impossible coincidence becomes. That is the emotional tension astronomers began experiencing. The universe kept whispering the same shapes back at them. Some physicists propose that these repetitions might originate from conditions present immediately after the Big Bang. Tiny quantum fluctuations in the infant universe could have expanded during cosmic inflation, imprinting subtle patterns across space itself. Others explored the possibility that unknown physical laws emerge only at enormous scales far beyond direct human experience. But no explanation fully removed the discomfort, because these repetitions do not merely appear mathematical, they appear organized, and organization changes the emotional meaning of the cosmos completely. A random universe feels cold but understandable. A universe containing hidden repetition feels different. It suggests invisible structure operating beneath reality, like the framework of something humanity cannot fully see yet. This is where cosmology begins crossing into philosophical territory. Because once patterns start repeating consistently across the largest scales imaginable, another question emerges naturally. What if the universe is not evolving randomly at all? What if reality follows deeper rules hidden beneath the surface of observable physics? That possibility creates profound tension inside modern science because it threatens humanity's sense of certainty. For centuries, scientific progress moved toward reducing mystery. Every discovery made the universe appear more mechanical, more explainable, more predictable. Now the opposite seems to be happening. The more humanity studies deep space, the stranger reality becomes. And soon, scientists would confront perhaps the most dangerous implication of all: the growing possibility that current physics itself may be incomplete, unable to fully describe the hidden architecture shaping the cosmos from the beginning of time. The dangerous possibility that physics is incomplete. There are moments in science when a terrifying thought begins to emerge quietly in the minds of researchers, not because anyone wants it to be true, but because reality slowly leaves no other option. What if the laws humanity currently understands are only a small fragment of something far larger? Modern physics is one of the greatest achievements in human history. It allowed humanity to split the atom, predict black holes, map distant galaxies, and understand the life cycles of stars. Equations developed on a small planet orbiting an ordinary star somehow unlocked the mechanics of the cosmos itself. And yet, despite all its success, physics contains enormous gaps. Scientists still do not know what dark matter truly is. They do not fully understand dark energy, the mysterious force accelerating the expansion of the universe. Quantum mechanics and general relativity, the two pillars of modern physics, still refuse to unite into a single coherent framework. Even stranger, most of the universe appears invisible to us. Everything humanity has ever seen, touched, measured, or detected directly represents only a tiny fraction of cosmic reality. Ordinary matter, the matter forming stars, planets, oceans, and human beings, makes up less than 5% of the known universe. The rest remains hidden. That fact alone should deeply unsettle us. Imagine discovering that 95% of Earth was invisible to human senses, entire continents hidden behind reality itself, unknown oceans pressing against the edges of perception. That is essentially humanity's current situation inside the cosmos. And now, layered on top of this ignorance, come the anomalies, the alignments, the repetitions, the gigantic structures, the strange correlations between distant regions of space. Each discovery adds pressure to the uncomfortable possibility that current physics may describe only the visible surface of a much deeper system. Some researchers compare this moment to ancient astronomy before gravity was understood. Humans could observe planets moving through the sky, but the hidden mechanism controlling those motions remained invisible until Newton revealed it. Perhaps modern cosmology stands at a similar threshold. Perhaps the universe is governed by deeper laws humanity has not discovered yet. That possibility becomes especially disturbing when scientists consider scale. The human brain evolved to survive on Earth, not to intuitively understand structures billions of light years wide. It is entirely possible that reality behaves differently at cosmic scales than our current theories predict. In fact, the universe has already taught humanity this lesson before. Quantum physics shattered common sense. Relativity shattered absolute time. Black holes shattered intuitive understanding of gravity. Every major leap in physics forced humanity to abandon comfortable assumptions about reality. Now, the cosmos may be preparing to do it again. And perhaps the most unsettling part is this: The anomalies are not disappearing. With every new telescope, the universe reveals additional layers of complexity. New surveys deepen the mystery instead of simplifying it. The map of reality becomes stranger the more carefully humanity observes it. That creates a dangerous tension inside cosmology. Because eventually, science reaches a point where small adjustments no longer solve the problem. Sometimes the entire framework must change. And if that moment is approaching now, humanity may soon discover that the universe is not merely larger than we imagined. It may be operating according to principles the human mind was never naturally built to comprehend. Why the human mind cannot fully grasp the cosmos. The universe may not be difficult to understand merely because it is complex. It may be difficult because the human mind was never designed to comprehend reality on cosmic scales. That possibility changes everything. Human consciousness evolved for survival on a small world filled with immediate dangers. Our ancestors learned to recognize faces, track movement, predict weather, and navigate landscapes. The brain became extraordinarily efficient at understanding objects moving slowly through three-dimensional space under ordinary conditions. But the cosmos does not operate according to ordinary conditions. In deep space, time bends. Gravity warps reality itself. Particles exist in states that defy classical logic. Entire galaxies move through expanding space faster than intuition can process. Black holes distort causality. Quantum fields fluctuate invisibly beneath matter. And across billions of light years, the universe builds structures so enormous the human brain cannot emotionally visualize them correctly. The mind reaches its limits quickly. That is why cosmology often produces a strange emotional sensation. The deeper people study the universe, the less reality resembles the world human intuition evolved to understand. Space becomes abstract. Time becomes unstable. Cause and effect lose their familiar shapes. And perhaps most disturbing of all, the universe appears increasingly indifferent to human expectations. Throughout history, humanity repeatedly assumed reality should behave according to common sense. Again and again, the cosmos proved otherwise. Earth was not the center of existence. Time was not absolute. Matter was not solid in the way people imagined. Empty space was not truly empty. Every scientific revolution humiliated human intuition. Now cosmology may be approaching another one. Because when astronomers discover giant structures, impossible alignments, and repeating patterns across deep space, the human brain immediately searches for familiar explanations. Design, intention, coordination, purpose. But those concepts themselves may simply reflect the limits of human cognition, attempting to interpret something vastly beyond its natural capabilities. Imagine an ant trying to understand the internet by walking across a computer circuit board. The ant might notice patterns, connections, repetition, energy flowing through invisible pathways. But the true system operating beneath those observations would remain far beyond the ant's capacity to conceptualize. Humanity may occupy a similar position within the cosmos. That thought becomes deeply unsettling when combined with modern discoveries in physics and neuroscience. Scientists already know that human perception captures only a tiny fraction of reality. The eyes detect limited wavelengths. The ears hear limited frequencies. The brain filters enormous amounts of information constantly just to maintain functional awareness. Reality is already far larger than perception. Now imagine applying that limitation to the universe itself. Perhaps the cosmos only appears strange because humanity lacks the cognitive architecture necessary to perceive its deeper order directly. Maybe the hidden patterns astronomers observe are not anomalies at all. Perhaps they are natural features of reality existing beyond intuitive understanding. This possibility creates a profound existential tension. Because if the human mind cannot fully grasp the architecture of the universe, then every scientific model humanity creates may always remain incomplete shadows of a deeper truth. The equations may work, the predictions may succeed, yet the true nature of reality could still remain fundamentally beyond direct comprehension. And still, despite these limitations, humanity continues searching. That may be the most extraordinary part of all. Tiny, conscious beings standing on a small planet inside an ordinary galaxy somehow became capable of questioning the structure of existence itself. The universe evolved creatures able to stare into the abyss and wonder whether hidden patterns govern the stars. And that question would soon lead scientists toward one of the most unsettling possibilities ever proposed. What if the cosmos is not merely following laws of physics, but something closer to a hidden blueprint woven into reality itself? The theory that the universe may be following a hidden blueprint. There is a dangerous moment in every scientific mystery when the evidence becomes too strange to ignore, yet still too incomplete to fully explain. That is the moment imagination becomes both necessary and dangerous. Because once humanity begins confronting patterns embedded across the universe itself, an unsettling question naturally emerges. What if the cosmos is not only governed by physical laws, but organized according to deeper structures hidden beneath observable reality? Not design in the simplistic sense people often imagine, not giant machines in space, not ancient civilizations manipulating galaxies. The true possibility is far more disturbing. The universe may contain underlying architecture humanity cannot directly perceive. Modern physics already hints that reality possesses hidden layers beneath ordinary experience. Quantum fields invisibly shape matter. Space-time bends like fabric around massive objects. Invisible dark matter appears to control the motion of galaxies. Dark energy stretches the universe itself outward across cosmic distances. Most of reality is already hidden from direct observation. The blueprint theory pushes this discomfort even further. Some physicists and philosophers have explored the possibility that the universe behaves more like an informational structure than chaotic physical debris. In this view, matter, energy, and space may emerge from deeper organizing principles operating beneath visible reality itself. The implications become psychologically overwhelming very quickly. Because if hidden organizational rules exist beneath the cosmos, then the patterns astronomers keep discovering may not be accidental anomalies. They may be visible fragments of a much larger system humanity has only begun to detect. Imagine standing inside a cathedral while seeing only individual stones. At first, everything appears disconnected, but as your perspective expands, invisible order slowly emerges. Columns align, arches repeat, symmetry reveals itself across impossible scales. Eventually, what once looked random becomes unmistakably structured. Some cosmologists fear the universe may be revealing a similar truth. The strange alignments, the gigantic structures, the repeated patterns across deep space, the correlations between distant regions of the cosmos. Together they create the haunting impression that reality itself may possess levels of organization far beyond current scientific understanding. This is where science begins approaching the edge of philosophy. Because the deeper humanity investigates the universe, the more another possibility emerges. Perhaps physical laws are not the deepest layer of reality. Perhaps they are merely surface expressions of something more fundamental hidden underneath. Some theoretical physicists explore the idea that information itself may form the foundation of existence. Others investigate whether space-time emerges from deeper quantum relationships, invisible to ordinary perception. A few even suggest that the universe behaves mathematically in ways so precise that reality itself resembles a vast computational structure unfolding across cosmic scales. None of these theories are proven. That uncertainty matters. The goal is not to replace science with fantasy. The goal is to confront an uncomfortable fact honestly. Humanity may currently stand at the edge of discoveries capable of transforming our understanding of existence as profoundly as relativity or quantum mechanics once did. And perhaps the most disturbing part is this: the universe keeps cooperating with the mystery. Every new observation uncovers additional complexity. Every deeper survey reveals more structure. The cosmos behaves less like a random explosion fading into darkness, and more like a system carrying hidden order across billions of years. For centuries, humanity believed science would eventually remove mystery from the universe. Instead, science may have led us directly into a deeper mystery than anyone imagined. And beyond all the equations, all the telescopes, and all the theories, one final possibility remains waiting in the darkness. A possibility so unsettling that it changes the emotional meaning of the universe itself, the most disturbing possibility of all. Perhaps the universe was never chaotic. Perhaps chaos was only the limit of human perception. That possibility sits quietly beneath every anomaly discovered in deep space, beneath every impossible alignment, beneath every giant structure stretching across billions of light years, beneath every strange repetition hidden inside the cosmic background radiation, like a shadow growing larger behind the visible universe itself. For centuries, humanity believed the cosmos was fundamentally indifferent, A cold accident born from randomness. Stars formed randomly. Galaxies scattered randomly. Matter organized itself through blind physical processes unfolding without intention or deeper structure. But the deeper humanity looked into space, the harder complete randomness became to accept emotionally, because patterns kept appearing. Again and again, the universe revealed organization where disorder should dominate. Not perfect organization, not simple geometric symmetry, something far stranger, a subtle hidden coherence woven into the largest scales of existence itself. And that leads to the most disturbing possibility of all. What if reality possesses an underlying order humanity is only beginning to glimpse? Not an order created for humans, not a comforting cosmic purpose designed around life on Earth. Something far larger and far more impersonal. An ancient structure embedded into existence long before stars, planets, or conscious observers ever emerged. The terrifying part is not that the universe may contain hidden patterns. The terrifying part is that those patterns may have always been there, silently shaping reality while humanity remained too primitive to notice them. Imagine a civilization living inside a vast library without understanding language. For thousands of years, the books appear meaningless, random marks covering endless pages. Then one day, someone suddenly recognizes repetition, symbols repeating in structured ways, invisible rules connecting the chaos. At that moment, everything changes. The universe may be approaching a similar moment now. Modern cosmology stands in a strange position between confidence and confusion. Humanity can measure black holes, detect gravitational waves, and observe galaxies formed billions of years ago. Yet despite these astonishing achievements, the deepest structure of reality remains elusive. The more science advances, the stranger existence becomes. Dark matter remains invisible. Dark energy remains unexplained. Quantum mechanics continues defying intuition. And now, the large-scale structure of the universe itself appears increasingly difficult to reconcile with complete randomness. Somewhere inside all these mysteries, there may exist a hidden connection humanity has not discovered yet. Or perhaps something even more unsettling is true. Perhaps the universe is under no obligation to ever make complete sense to us. That idea humbles the human species in a profound way. Every civilization throughout history believed it stood close to understanding reality completely. Every civilization was wrong. The cosmos always turned out larger, stranger, and more complex than expected. And still, humanity continues searching. Tiny conscious beings made of stardust continue pointing instruments toward the darkness, trying to decode patterns stretching across the edges of space and time itself. There is something beautiful about that struggle, something almost tragic. The universe produced creatures capable of questioning the universe. Perhaps that is the real mystery. Not whether hidden patterns exist in the cosmos, but why conscious minds evolved capable of recognizing them at all. Tonight, somewhere beyond the stars visible above Earth, the universe continues expanding in silence. Galaxies drift across invisible structures. Ancient radiation carries echoes from the beginning of time. Massive cosmic patterns stretch beyond the limits of perception. And hidden inside all of it may exist a truth humanity has only barely begun to uncover. A truth so vast that one day it may completely transform how our species understands reality, existence, and its own place inside the cosmos. Because perhaps the most disturbing discovery is not that the universe contains patterns. Perhaps the most disturbing discovery is that the universe itself may be one.